Albert Schiff was traveling by car from DC to Quebec a few months ago. When he got to security at the provincial capital, he made sure he told the guards about the can of pepper spray he had with him. And then he was promptly arrested. Turns out pepper spray is an illegal weapon under Canadian law. As a result, he faced up to 10 years in jail. Welcome to the Happy Truckers channel. My name is Mike. Now here in the US, there has been a lot of focus over the last year on Americans arrested in foreign lands. The most notable of late is Brittney Griner, the WNBA and Olympic basketball star that was arrested in Russia and sentenced to 10 years in jail for the possession of a vaping cartridge containing cannabis oil. Now, what do the cases of Ms. Griner and Mr. Schiff have in common? Well, they both involve activities that are legal here in the US, but are illegal in the countries in which they were traveling. Now, the US State Department does not publish numbers of US citizens that are arrested abroad, but Dick Atkins, a Philadelphia-based attorney specializing in this sort of thing, estimates that about 5,000 Americans are detained every year in foreign countries on serious violations. So maybe you're thinking you aren't that dumb. You don't carry drugs into Russia. You don't carry pepper spray. Well, that may not matter. In the UAE, simply having drugs in your system, in your blood or your urine, is the same as possession. In Mexico, if you get in a car wreck and someone is hurt, everybody's going to jail. Doesn't have to be your fault. You're probably still going to go to jail until they sort it out. Maybe you just happen to get caught up in some sort of mob violence. I was in Paris a few years ago. I was having a great time, and one of my friends here from the United States texted me and asked me if I was safe because she was coming the very next weekend. I asked her why, what's going on? She told me they were having riots. I had no idea. I hadn't watched the local news, and where I was at the moment was far away from any of the violence. But what if I had turned the corner and walked straight into a full-on riot? I may have gotten caught up in the whole thing and hauled off to jail. So what do you do if you are arrested? Here are my top 5 steps to follow to make sure a bad situation does not get worse. In fact, I'm going to give you a bonus at the end that I think is one of the most important safety tips you can do. Hey, do me a favor before we get started. If you like this kind of content, make sure you hit the like button. It helps me know what kind of content to do more of, and it lets YouTube know what kind of videos you like. Number 1, stay calm. I have a tendency to get riled up, and I can get really mouthy when I feel like I've been treated unjustly. And there's an old John Mellencamp song that says, "I fight authority and authority always win." That should be my mantra. I may be able to get away with that here in the United States, but that mouth is going to get me in trouble in other countries. So stay calm. It'll help you make way better decisions. Remember, all the laws that you know or think you know, like the Fifth Amendment or the right to an attorney, the Miranda warning, all those are U.S. laws. They mean absolutely nothing outside of the U.S. Number 2, ask local authorities to contact the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. Under the Vienna Convention of Consular Relations, you have the right to have your home consulate notified when you are detained. Now, the U.S. Embassy can send you a list of English-speaking attorneys and reach out to your family or your employer and let them know what's going on. The State Department reps can also come and visit any detained U.S. citizens to make sure they are getting adequate medical attention. But, and this is very important, the State Department generally cannot get you out of jail, nor can they cover your legal bills. You're on your own for that. Number 3, remember, cops are the same the world over. They want to clear their books. So processing you, collecting some revenue, and then moving you out is generally what they want. So you have that on your side. So unless you're in a country that can use you as some sort of bargaining chip, you are generally not going to be treated much differently than a local. Maybe even a little bit better because they know the U.S. could get involved, but don't lean into that too much. That'd be the wrong move. Hey, question of the day. Have you ever been arrested in a foreign country or know someone that has? If so, I would love to hear that story. Drop us a note in the comments below. Number 4, register for S.T.E.P. That's the State Department's Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. Sharing a few details about your trip is going to allow the government to contact your next of kin if you are arrested. I'll put a description in the link below. And number 5, the best advice is to do a little research before you go. Pay attention to things like the laws about the medication you may be carrying. Public drunkenness seems to be a problem with Americans. What is the appropriate dress codes or public displays of affection? Strange things like that are strange to us could get you in trouble in other countries. Stay out of sketchy areas. As a foreigner in a bad part of town, you are going to draw a lot of attention. Most of that is unwanted. And here's the bonus. I mentioned this in a previous video about safety. Set up a check-in system with a friend or loved one. Tell them where you are traveling and let them know that you will send them a text or even a call once a day. And if they haven't heard from you by a certain period of time, they should call you. If they still haven't heard from you after so many hours, then they should call the hotel or even the police. This will alert people that you are not on your own. You have people looking for you, and it will start the ball rolling. If you'd like to learn more about traveling or even living in other countries, check out our playlist about destinations around the world. If you want more information about obtaining a visa in a different country, check out our visa playlist right there. And until we talk again, keep on trekking.